Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Dives, Mr. Crockpot on Twitter. Today, we are breaking down the quarterback class of the 2023 NFL Draft. Most upside, most sure thing, most overrated, and more. Guys, if you love the draft, please consider subscribing. Let's go. Let's start off with most sure thing, and that's got to be Bryce Young out of Alabama. When it comes to the NFL draft prospects who are the most sure thing, it starts and ends with Bryce Young. Besides the stats, Young has true game-changing ability, such as his elusiveness in the pocket and ability to make big throws on the run. If a team is in desperate need for a quarterback for the foreseeable future, they should 100% take Bryce Young. Young has amazing accuracy, especially when in rhythm. He's fearless under pressure and stands tall against the blitz. He's a big-time playmaker with a creative mind who is at his best outside of the pocket and in finding unique angles to locate his teammates in stride. While the size issues are a concern, I think this dude is a lock for the top 5 of the 2023 draft. Here's a little bit more from my scouting report on Bryce Young. Inside the pocket, outside the pocket, Bryce Young checks off a ton of boxes with his arm and legs. His ability to create in both of these areas is as elite as it gets. If he's dodging through pressure, he's always in control. This is a guy who plays with elite poise and processing ability to make defenders miss and hit guys in stride on all 3 levels. If this guy was 2 inches taller, he'd be the surefire number 1 pick in the 2023 draft. Outside of those size concerns, Bryce Young can leave pockets a little too early. Sometimes that is necessary because the play has broken down, but also sometimes it is strategic. However, sometimes it's him rolling out too early that causes the play to break down when it was unnecessary to do so. Despite the size issues, Bryce Young has all the arm talent, decision making, accuracy, athleticism, production, and mentality you would want from an early quarterback selection. Right now, I've got a top 10 grade on Bryce Young. Let's watch some highlights.
To the wide side of the field, down here at the bottom.
And they throw deep to an open receiver. Inside the 10, Ja'Cory Brooks. Down to the pylon. Touchdown, Alabama.
He's going to waddle over to the left. Fakes that he was going to take a handoff. The throw is to wide open Billingsley. If he got the pylon, he got the touchdown, and he did.
Mechanics of officiating. Young back in the end zone again on 3rd and 5. That question might have to wait because there goes Jamison Williams to the house.
Let's move on to biggest winner of the 2023 class, and that is Hendon Hooker out of Tennessee. Arguably the biggest winner of the 2022 season was watching the rise of Tennessee quarterback Hendon Hooker. In 2021, Hooker threw for nearly 3,000 yards, 31 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions while completing 68% of his passes through 13 games. In 2022, he was a legit Heisman candidate. He posted over 3,000 yards passing, 430 yards rushing, and 32 touchdowns with only 2 interceptions for the Volunteers' high-powered offense. He also threw 5 touchdowns in Tennessee's first upset victory over then number 1 Alabama since the year before Nick Saban took over in 2006. His stock was at his highest, maybe a potential first-round pick, until he tore his ACL in a loss to South Carolina in November. Regardless, I think this dude is a lock for day 2 in the 2023 draft. Let's take a further look from my scouting report on Hendon Hooker. Here is a prospect that has improved every single year in college. We've also seen real year-on-year growth from him, going from a 71.5 passing grade with Virginia Tech in 2020 to a 78.3 with Tennessee in 21 to an 85.4 this past season. Hendon Hooker checks off a lot of boxes with a strong arm, good size, he's light on his feet in the pocket, and he can also make defenders miss inside that pocket. He also loves the big play, targeting guys downfield. However, he struggles with accuracy once he gets out of the pocket. On 151 dropbacks the past 2 seasons, where he was moved off the spot, Hooker completed only 7 passes. The concerns also don't stop there. He'll turn 25 in January and tore his ACL back in November. While I don't think he'll be a franchise-level quarterback at the next level, I think Hooker has a chance to blossom in the right system with the right supporting cast. Right now, I've got a day 2 grade on Hendon Hooker. Let's watch some highlights.
DC, number 2 in the nation. As Hooker looks downfield in the end zone, he's got it!
Too fast on the run, otherwise these big pass plays won't be there.
There's a pass play that's there. Jalen Hyatt.
Here comes pressure from Pitt. They don't get there. Flag down. Single coverage beaten again. All the way to the goal line goes Tillman.
Need to run the ball a little bit.
Going deep. Man's there. Got it. Now he's going to go deep. Got a man out there. Oh, what a catch. Diving catch by Keaton. Hooker. Down the middle. Got him on the fly. It's Hyatt again. And he's going to take it. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Scored on all 6 possessions this half, and Hooker's got a wide open receiver again, catching it like a punt inside the 20 is Keaton.
They're back at the 28, still in field goal range. Hooker throws, end zone.
And let's get to most overrated in the quarterback class. I know I'm going to take some heat for this, but it is CJ Stroud. Throughout the year, CJ Stroud looked to be the favorite to win the Heisman. But then there were performances like the one against Northwestern, where he threw for just 76 yards and threw just 10 completions on 26 attempts. CJ Stroud is a task-oriented passer, and a very good one at that. When it comes to pre-snap reads, Stroud does a good job to identify potential blitzes, decipher man versus zone tells, and anticipate early weak spots in coverage. Outside of the pocket is where things start to fall apart and his decision making begins to come into question. He struggles big time under pressure and playmaking outside of the pocket. Is CJ Stroud one of the top quarterbacks in this class? Absolutely. However, I just have more than a few reservations for a player that's likely to be drafted in the top 10 or 15 of the 2023 draft. Here is my quick scouting report on CJ Stroud. Here's a prospect with loads of arm talent and strength. His accuracy and processing are elite. 33.6 of his attempts past the line of scrimmage were deemed perfectly placed per PFF. That is the highest rate in the class. But you cannot ignore this simple fact. There's no doubt that over the past 2 years, CJ Stroud has been operating within an incredibly favorable situation. He'll have played behind 3 different NFL offensive tackles and thrown to likely 4 different first-round wide receivers. He also needs to show he can perform better under pressure. Stroud has a 36.8 passing grade when under pressure this season, and his ability to create outside of structure just isn't as good as my top 2 guys on this list. Right now, I've got a round 1 grade on CJ Stroud. Let's watch some highlights.
Stroud lost to the pylon. Harrison's got it. Flag out. Touchdown signal. Off the play action, Stroud wants a downfield shot, and he's got Fleming running free, and Julian Fleming battles to the end zone. Touchdown, Ohio State.
Let's talk about most polarizing quarterback prospect, and that is Will Levis out of Kentucky. The question of, is Will Levis a top 10 draft pick in the NFL draft, needs to stop. He's got the arm talent, athleticism, and physical traits that scouts love, and I think he's going to completely crush the upcoming draft process. There was a lot of good and bad in 2022. Levis showed off some impressive throws throughout the year, but there was also some bad interceptions. Not to mention that he was among one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the nation, 37 times. That's 8th most. On the year, Levis completed 65.4% of his passes for over 2,400 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. You heard it here first, guys. Do not be shocked if Will Levis finds a way to be selected as high as number 1 overall this April. Will Levis will be a source of debate for the next few months. Here is my quick scouting report on Will Levis. It's been a roller coaster season for Will Levis, but he's going to be one of the quarterbacks who projects better in the pros than in college. While his decision making on the football field leaves a lot to be desired, it's important to note that Levis was under pressure on 37.8% of his dropbacks in 2022, while only possessing a 3.0% turnover-worthy play rate at Kentucky. Will Levis has a rocket launcher on his shoulder with an ultra-quick release. He has no problem delivering into tight windows, and he also ran for 516 yards on 98 carries with 20 broken tackles. However, you cannot ignore the inconsistency. He still throws from an inconsistent base far too often, leading to some inaccuracies. His touch throws were also a bit disappointing at times in 2022. However, right now, I've got a top 15 grade on Will Levis. I think this guy is going to crush it during the upcoming draft process. Let's watch some highlights. Let's talk about biggest sleeper in the quarterback class, and that for me is Cameron Ward. Although this is a developmental prospect for sure, the elite upside of Washington State quarterback Cameron Ward makes him one of the more exciting long-term prospects in this class. Ward's arm talent is extremely enticing, which is really showcased when he's out of structure, out of the pocket, and creating for his teammates. There have been several times during the 2022 season where Cameron Ward has shown tremendous poise and pocket presence that is, simply required to be a franchise quarterback at the next level. The best quarterbacks in the NFL can make plays within and outside of structure, and Ward has proven he can do both regardless of the level of competition. He's got the ability to make highlight reel plays when the pocket breaks down. Right now, he's mostly seen as a day 3 guy in the 2023 draft, but I think his arm talent and creativity inside and outside of the pocket easily makes him the biggest sleeper in the 2023 draft. Let's take a quick look at my scouting report on Cameron Ward. If he stays in the draft, Cameron Ward will be the youngest quarterback in the 2023 NFL draft. Ward has an elastic arm and lateral twitch to be one of the best playmakers in this class. This is a guy who looks natural when throwing on the run, and he delivers strikes into small windows with excellent velocity and a tight spiral. He's also got strong measurables and durability. At 6'2" and 220 pounds, he's built to withstand the rigors of the professional game. Ward also hasn't missed any game time during his career as a result of injury. Ward needs to work on his lower body mechanics and pre-snap process, but he already possesses several elite traits, including arm strength and velocity, and is currently developing his anticipation, touch, and ability to throw on the run. Right now, I've got a day 3 grade on Cameron Ward. Let's watch some highlights.
Ward trying to get it done on his own, needs some help. Needs a lot of help. There's Watson.
Oh my God.
Now does he have room? Nakia, he's got it. First down and then spun.
Last but not least, let's talk about biggest boomer bust quarterback in this class, and that is Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson's combination of arm talent, athleticism, speed, and ball velocity are just insane. When he's in rhythm, Richardson has made smart throws, fitting accurate passes into tight windows while showing off his tremendous arm strength at times. His running game is also brilliant, and he looks like a linebacker when he gets out into open space. Richardson reads the field well for being a young quarterback. However, he struggles making quick reads and vacates the pocket way too early when it's unnecessary. Regardless, it's easy to see Pro Bowl franchise level upside with this dude. I would not be surprised to see him dominate the upcoming draft process and see a team roll the dice on this guy in the top 20 first round of the 2023 draft. Let's take a quick look at my scouting report on Anthony Richardson. Here is an uber athlete that probably should have stayed another season in college while developing his elite skill set. Just how good of an athlete is Anthony Richardson? Richardson broke 39 tackles on 97 carries this season for 713 yards on the ground in 2022. Inside the pocket is where Anthony Richardson needs to develop the most. While his footwork is sound and consistent, he's a long way away when it comes to developing into an accurate quarterback. His uncatchable off-target rate on throws past the line of scrimmage was 35.8% this past season. Anthony Richardson is a multi-year project at the next level, but he's a worthwhile gamble due to those elite physical tools. Right now, I've got a rounds 1 through 2 grade on Anthony Richardson. Let's watch some highlights.
Henderson goes in motion. What a play by Richardson. A ball fake. Richardson got the edge and is gone off. They're looking at his shoe bottoms. Deuces, touchdown!
Richardson. So those are my thoughts on the 2023 quarterback class. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know down in that comment section below. If you love the draft, please consider subscribing for more draft content. Thank you everyone for watching. Stay awesome.